Hey friends, let's get moving. So to begin, let's start kind of up towards the front part of your practice space and go ahead and with bent elbows, reach your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bend the elbows again, but this time out to the side. And so here, I'll show you, your elbow is at 90 degrees and your elbow is in a line with your shoulder. So then you're gonna reach up to straighten your arms, and as you reach up, your ribs stay down. And then again, as you exhale, bend your elbows down. Inhale to reach up. I'm gonna show you from the back. Exhale, bend your elbows, and maybe you can feel your shoulder blades coming a little bit closer together. Inhale to reach up, and exhale. Imagine that you are moving your arms through concrete or thick, cold honey. So you're giving yourself a little bit of resistance as you bend the elbows down. Waking up the upper back, waking up the arms. Inhale to reach up. Ribs staying down. Exhale. Feel the elbows come down, shoulder blades move in towards the spine. One more inhale up and exhale down. Okay, keep your arms like this, and then you're gonna step your left foot towards the back so that you're coming into a lunge position. Your arms are still in that goalpost position, soft neck. Take another breath in here. And as you exhale, step your left foot up. Keep your arms up. They are saying good morning, hello, or good afternoon. Let's step the right foot back. The arms are working. Here in the lunge, take a full breath in and out. And step forward. Relax your arms. Okay, circle out your shoulders a little bit. Forward and back. Now, let's get into a flow here. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna have your right foot forward first. Step your left foot back so you're coming into a lunge. And as you do that, you're gonna reach your left hand down. So if you can get to the ground, great. If you're more up here, or maybe you just put your left hand on your knee, those are all appropriate variations. So you choose what's gonna work for you. So you reach down and then exhale and step up. So the left knee is gonna come up and you're gonna twist back. So that left arm is coming back behind you, okay? So it's a reach down into the lunge, inhale, exhale, up and twist. Inhale to reach down, exhale, up and twist. Woo. And if you wobble like me, that is okay. So you can go in more of like an explosive, really quick pattern like that. If your balance is really good, which mine obviously isn't on point today, or you can make this a multi-part process, okay? So it is up to you how quickly you want to move through this flow. Just as long as you're coming up on the exhale, because the exhale, when you're exhaling, your navel's drawing towards your spine, and so it's in helping to engage your abdominal muscles, helping to support your back. One more here. Great. Put your left foot down. Let's go over to the other side. So you're gonna step your right foot back into the lunge, and as you do that, you're reaching your right hand either down towards the ground, hovering, or maybe you're putting your hand on your knee, all appropriate variations. And then as you exhale, standing up, bringing the right knee up and taking the right arm back behind you. So you're in a standing twist. Inhale down, exhale, up and twist. And again, you might be working here in a more explosive pattern, getting up a little bit quicker, or another variation is to really take it slow. Either one is great. Hopefully on your exhale, feeling your navel drawing back should be something that happens automatically that you don't really need to think about. But if you're noticing that that's not something that happens for you, maybe check out the deep core strength progression on this channel, and that could help you get more in tune with your breath and develop that deep core strength that'll support you in movements like this. One more. Great. Okay, go ahead and put both feet on the ground. Come to the middle of your mat, and we're gonna start taking the legs out side to side. Okay, so if balance is an issue, you can always hold on to the wall, or you can have a chair in front of you, and that could actually come in handy for the next part. So as you're taking your legs out side to side, hopefully you're feeling these outer hip muscles start to fire up, starting to get a little bit tired. So let's get on the same page of our legs here. So I'm gonna do left, right, and then I'm gonna take my left leg up and over, imagining that there's a low fence or a low pole that I'm trying to step over. I'm gonna put my left foot down, and then I'm gonna go under the thing, the imaginary thing that I just stepped over. So I'm gonna dip down and come up. And then I'm gonna go left, right, left. Now the right leg is gonna come up and over. Put the right foot down, go under the imaginary pole, over towards the left, right foot out, left foot out, right foot out, left foot up and over, getting up through that hip joint, and then we're gonna go under, left, right, left. Put your left foot down, pick your right leg up and over that low fence or whatever it is that you're trying to climb, and then you're gonna go under it. So when you're going under, you have a pretty wide squat, and you're having to lower your torso under as well, okay? So then you come up on the right foot, left leg out, right leg out, left leg out, right leg. I think I chose the wrong leg that time, but that's okay. And then going under. And if you get confused about which side you're supposed to be on, it's okay, just keep moving. Okay, so now the left leg is coming up. Put your left foot down, go under to the right, left, right, left, right leg up and over, under to the left, right, left, right, left leg comes up and over. I think I did that backwards, but you get the idea. Let's do one more on each leg. So left, right, left. Now we're gonna take the right leg up and over, and then I'm gonna shift to the right, come under the fence and stand up. Weight is in my left foot, right leg out, left leg out, right leg out. Last one, take your left leg up and over, and then coming down to the left, you're gonna go under to the right and stand up. That was maybe harder for me to explain than it was for you to do, hopefully. Okay, let's bring it down to the ground. So however you wanna get down there is cool. You can come down through a lunge. Maybe you're coming down through a squat. Maybe you're reaching down and putting your hands down. It's up to you. Anyway, it's fine. Now, we're gonna come into all fours. And here, point your middle fingers forward, and your elbow creases should be pointing in the same direction as your fingers, okay? And now, while we're here, get a really strong neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and see about picking one hand up away from the ground. As you do that, as you pick one hand up, can you feel your abdominals, your abdominal core and your back core firing up to support you and stabilize you? Go ahead and put that hand down and take the other hand up. Okay, hopefully feeling a response in the core to stabilize you. And you're gonna go from side to side. Now, if this feels easy, if you wanna kick it up, another variation is to come into a low plank, okay, with your knees on the ground behind your hips, and you can try it here. Now, this one is a little bit more challenging for me. If you feel your whole body really shifting from side to side, that means that your core isn't really firing up as much. So you want to try to keep your body pretty stable in the center as you pick up one hand at a time. Another variation is to try in a high plank. And on this one, I do feel my core firing up, but I also feel my hips shifting from side to side. So I'm gonna bring my knees down because while I do it here, I know that my torso and my pelvis are staying in center. For 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and come down to your belly now. Slither on down. Okay, so from here, if you want to put your forehead on the ground, you can, or you can keep your head a little bit away from the ground. If you're doing that, if you're keeping your head up, just keep the back of your neck nice and long. Take your hands back by your sides so your fingertips point in the same direction as your feet, and you're going to push your hands into the ground and reach your hands towards your feet, and that's going to make you kind of lurch forward a little bit. Now from here, go ahead and lift your feet away from the ground. So hopefully, feeling the feet and the legs lift, you can reach back and touch the backs of your thighs. Maybe you can feel that your hamstrings, the muscles on the backs of your thighs are engaged. Maybe you can feel that your tush muscles, your glutes, are also engaged to support your legs being lifted. And then you're gonna kick, 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 kick. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And breathing. Kick, 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 kick. Keep your knees straight as you kick. Keep pushing with your hands, especially if your lower back feels a little cranky. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and put your legs down. You can make a pillow with your hands and rest your head down if you haven't already. Okay, now go ahead and lift your head back up away from the ground. And I need to shimmy on back so I don't hit the wall. I'm gonna do some swimmers, some more swimmers, but swimming with the arms this time. So from here, keep your neck long. I like to imagine that I'm holding a grapefruit in between my chin and my chest. And so you're gonna take your arms forward, and on an exhale, so that your tummy engages, lift your arms away from the ground. So then you're gonna come back into that goalpost position that we did while we were standing up at the beginning of class, but then you're gonna tap your fingers down to the ground. When you tap your fingers down, this is kind of an opportunity to hug the shoulder blades in towards the spine and down away from the ears a bit more. Then keep your upper arm bones where they are and just pick your hands back up into goalposts. Try to lift your hands as high as you can as you dive forward, extending the arms. And then again, back to the goalposts, 90 degrees in the elbows. You don't need to take your elbows further back than your shoulder joint. Keep your elbows in a line with your shoulder joint, and then touch down with your fingertips. Get your shoulder blades a little bit more organized here. And then again, lift up the fingertips and dive. Lifting the hands and the arms as high as they'll go. And then one last time, bring them back into your goalposts, 90 degrees in the elbows. Touch down with the fingers. Snuggle the shoulder blades down from the ears in towards the spine. And then pick up the hands and dive. It's hard to talk while I dive. Okay, go ahead and relax. Make a pillow with your hands. You can rock your hips a little bit from side to side. Okay, so from here, let's do a little bit of prone twisting. So you're going to take your hands out wide, and you can do this with bent elbows or straight arms is actually better, but I just don't have enough space right here for straight arms. So I'm going to take my left leg up in the air, away from the mat, bend the left knee so the sole of your foot points up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to press through the foot up and over to the right. So you're turning yourself into a twist to the right. Maybe you can tap the ground with your left foot. Come back to center. Put your left leg down. Pick your right leg up. Bend your right knee. Push up through the sole of the foot and guide yourself over, trying to tap the ground behind you with that right foot. And we're just going to go from side to side. One more time each side. And to the right now. Reaching the right foot behind you, trying to tap the ground. Great. Coming back to center. Okay, and now from here, come up onto your forearms. And so you want to try to avoid letting your rib cage sag towards the ground. Okay, you want to try to hug your rib cage up away from the ground so that the slope of your spine is a little bit more consistent, as opposed to most of the angle of the spine coming right here in this one particular spot. So hug the low ribs up towards the spine. Try to keep the low ribs hugged in, and then we're going to do some shoulder rolls here. So bringing the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And you can keep your neck pretty relaxed as you move through the shoulders. As you move the shoulder blades down away from the ears, feel the elbows press into the ground. Okay, now let's try to reverse. So starting down, back, take the shoulder blades up to the ears, forward, reaching the shoulder blades apart, pushing through the elbows, and then the shoulder blades move down, together towards the spine, up towards the ears, forward and apart, and down. Really trying to get your shoulder blades moving as much as possible. Last one. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and put the hands down and push up. You can use your knees to help. And then from here, let's come up into a plank or a low plank. So you can keep your knees down or you can lift your hips up, whichever one you're in. And I'll show with both. You're gonna dip one hip towards the ground at a time. So right hip, left hip, right hip, left hip. In high plank, it's gonna look like this. And if your wrists are bothering you, you can always come up onto your fists or drop down to your forearms, which I find to be a little bit more challenging. And again, you choose your tempo. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back to plank. Drop your knees if they're still lifted. Now from here, go ahead and sit back onto your heels. And if you can't sit flat on your heels, you can put a blanket or a block under your tush. And then from here, we're going to take one hand behind us. Okay, so I've got my right hand back behind myself, and I'm going to kind of slump forward a little bit so that my shoulder blade stays really flush with my back. So if I try to stay upright, my shoulder blade wings out away from my back, and I don't want it to do that for this particular exercise. So slumping forward will help the shoulder blade move away from the spine and stay pretty flush with the rest of the back. And so I take my left hand around to rest on the shoulder blade so I can continue to monitor the shoulder blade situation. So I'm going to turn back so that you can see what's going on behind me. And so from here, see that my palm is facing away from my back. Well, I'm going to try to keep my upper arm and my shoulder blade just where it is. And I'm going to try flipping my palm to touch my back. Okay, now that does make my shoulder blade wing a little bit, so I'm gonna have to work hard to keep reaching my shoulder, my shoulder joint forward. And I'm gonna put the back of my hand against my back, and I'm gonna flip the palm. And just toggling back and forth here. Really making sure that you're not just doing this winging action, okay? You really want the shoulder blade to stay engaged onto the back. And now let's go ahead and switch over to the other arm. So take your left arm back behind you, slump forward, and you can use your right hand on your left shoulder blade to tune in and make sure that your shoulder blade is flush. And then again, I'll turn to face the back. You're gonna take the palm of your left hand and try and rest it on your back. So you're rotating over the thumb to put the palm of the hand on your back. And as you go to put the palm of your hand on the back, make sure that your shoulder blade doesn't pop off your spine. I mean, it's not gonna pop off your body. That was maybe a bad choice of words. I just mean keep your shoulder blade flush towards your back. Just 1 or 2 more here. Great, and relax. Put that arm down. Okay, so from here, sitting on your heels, you're gonna shift your hips over to the left so that your left hip comes down towards the ground. Now, if your left hip doesn't reach all the way down towards the ground, just take that block or that blanket and put it under your hip, okay? You can also shift your legs a little bit out to the side if that's more comfortable. Take your right hand to your left knee and extend your left arm up, hopefully feeling a little bit of a side stretch here on the left. Enjoy a deep breath in and out. And then you can push a little bit with your right hand to open your chest up towards the ceiling a bit more. Notice how the stretch sensation changes if you bend your elbow and support your head with your hand. And this is gonna allow you to kind of reach your head back into your hand and maybe bring some of the stretch up into your upper arm, your tricep, maybe into the armpit area. Great, and go ahead and relax. Come upright, lower your arm. Now, we're gonna exhale and try without using the hands to get yourself back into that central kneeling position. So shifting the hips back up onto the heels. I'm gonna inhale to prepare and exhale to shift up. If you need to use your hands, use your hands. Now we're gonna go to the other side. So let the hips fall off to the right. And again, both sides are different. So if you need some padding on this side, please feel free to support yourself. Put some cushion between your hip and the ground. And again, if you need to move your legs out to the side, do that as well. So left hand on the right thigh, right arm reaches up, and we're here in a side bend. So enjoy some breaths here, feeling some expansion through your ribs. After you take a breath or two here, go ahead and push with your left hand and start to rotate open towards the ceiling any amount. Noticing how that changes the stretch sensation. And then bend your right elbow, bring your hand behind your head, and you kind of press your head back, almost like you're holding that grapefruit in between your chin and your chest. Can you reach up more through your elbow? And notice if the stretch can come up here into the upper arm, tricep, into the armpit maybe. Enjoy some deep breaths. Really letting the rib cage expand. Great, and come back upright. Go ahead and release. Now again, we're gonna try to shift our hips back up onto our heels without using our hands. But if you need to use your hands, use your hands. So take a deep breath in to prepare. And exhale to come back upright. Okay, now go ahead and lift up off of your heels. So we're in kind of a high kneeling position, and make sure that your knee joints are right underneath your pelvis, right underneath your hips. You don't want your knees out too wide and not too close together. Okay, so find just right for you. And of course, if your knees feel a little sensitive and need some extra padding, you can either fold your mat under or use a folded towel or folded blanket for support. So from here, I'm gonna take my arms out in front of me and just clap my hands together. I'm gonna make my body kind of stiff from my knees up through my head. And then I'm going to lean my body back, okay, in one nice line. And then as I exhale, I'm gonna come back up. So inhale to lean back, feeling the fronts of the thighs, turning on. Exhale to come forward. Inhaling back, exhaling forward. Now, as you're going here, as you're going back, can you feel your lower legs and your feet pressing into the ground to stabilize you so that it's not just your quadriceps on the fronts of your thighs working? Can you fan your toes out and feel your toenails press into the mat? As you're exhaling and coming back up, can you press through your feet to help you get back up? One more. Now one more, actually. Great job. Okay, so from here, we're gonna lower the arms and we're gonna shift onto our tush on the ground. So take your legs out in front of you and let's take a moment to mellow the rib cage. Okay, so instead of lifting up through the chest and making the rib cage lift towards the ceiling, go ahead and let your rib cage settle down. Okay, and so from here, you're gonna go ahead and rest your hands on your thighs and lean your, these are not your thighs, rest your hands on your shins and lean your torso back so that your arms are straight. And then from here, pelvic tilts. So you're gonna let your pelvis tip back. This is like your tailbone tucking under. Your pubic bone is moving towards your navel. And then you're gonna do the opposite. So you're gonna rock your pelvis forward. This is increasing the pinch factor here between your hip bone and your pelvic bone and your thigh. You're closing the gap right there. And then as you exhale, pubic bone towards the navel, tailbone rocks under. Inhale, lifting up through, rocking onto the sit bones. Exhale, posterior pelvic tilt is the fancy word. Inhale, anterior pelvic tilt is the fancy word. Now, we're gonna see if we can add to this with our legs a little bit. So, when you are tucking the tailbone under, see if you can push your feet forward on the mat. And then as you exhale, as you inhale and your pelvis tilts forward, see if you can drag your feet towards your sit bones. Can you drive this action from your legs? It's really small, subtle movement. And I personally find that it's easier to feel the drive through the legs when I'm sitting in a chair. So you can keep that in mind for the next time you're sitting. Keeping the rest of the spine pretty stable. One more each way. Great. Okay, now find the middle ground for your pelvis. So not tucked too far back, not scooped too far forward, someplace right in the middle. Your ribs are mellow. Hopefully you can feel some abdominal activity here. Hopefully you can feel some of your abdominal muscles turning on, and go ahead and even touch, okay? So if you've got a lot more soft tissue on your tummy, you're gonna have to reach down a little bit further until you can feel your muscle. So keep that in mind. And I challenge you, as you go through the squishy part to get down to the muscle, make it a loving journey, okay? Make it a loving journey through the squish. Okay, so I'm feeling around to my abdominal muscles, and I'm feeling like things are engaged. So if you feel like that things are not engaged, if you can't feel kind of that hard muscular wall beneath the squishy part, go ahead and give a little tap with just one finger. Okay, and that'll try to get those guys there to wake up a little bit. And you can kind of go all over the place. You don't have to do that in just one spot. So we're really just making sure everybody's awake and ready to party. So from here, you can go ahead and lift your legs up away from the ground. If you want to hold your legs for extra help, you can, or you can extend your arms. It's up to you. You can also extend your legs. Again, it's up to you. There's so many different ways to do it. There's so many variations. I encourage you to play around with those. And look, I'm shaking. This is hard, okay? So enjoy playing around, enjoy the process for 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Go ahead and put your legs down. Now we're gonna come on down to the back. Okay, now put your feet down on the ground. So maybe your hip flexors, the fronts of your hips, got a little cranky at trying to hold your legs up for so long. So just go ahead and lift your hips up away from the ground. And then you're gonna reach your right knee away from your head. And then you're gonna reach your left knee away from your head and alternate. Back and forth. Giving a little length to those hip flexors, those muscles on the fronts of the hips. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and relax your hips back down to the ground there. And then from here, get your wardrobe organized. Okay, so from here, go ahead and bring your hands back into that goalpost position, but this time the fingertips will be facing towards the ceiling. Okay, so you really want to try to get your elbow in a line with your shoulder. Elbow in a line with your shoulder, and try hugging your rib cage down. So you don't want your ribs thrusting up towards the ceiling. You really want to hug those in, okay? And then from here, push through your elbows and see if you can lift the backs of your shoulder blades away from the ground any amount. And then relax. And then push with your elbows. Can you feel your shoulder blades move any amount closer? And relax. And again, push through your elbows. So your your shoulder blades might not lift very much. You might not even be able to get a piece of paper in between them and the ground. And that's okay. Keep going. Press and release. Press and release. Keep going. Notice if you have one arm that wants to do a little bit more of the work. See if you can recruit the other arm to share in this equitable relationship. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and relax. Bring your arms down. Hug your knees into your chest now. So go ahead and wrap your hands around your shins and curl your chest and head away from the ground. And now you notice the distance between your thighs and your torso. We want to keep that distance constant, okay? So we're going to start to rock. So your rock is going to be a little bit small in the beginning. So you could use your feet or your legs to make a big rock. But do you see how when I do that, the distance between my thigh and my torso gets bigger? So I just want it to be constant where it is when I started. And so to make that rocking happen, you're reaching down through your solar plexus, curling your chest away from the ground, maybe using your head a little bit, but hopefully it's coming from this curling up motion. So your rock might be really small, like mine, or you might have a pretty powerful core, and you might already be standing and running off to the next thing. Either one is fine. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and relax your head back down to the ground. Put your feet down on the ground. And we're gonna go ahead from here and take your feet about mat's width apart. And then you're gonna drop your legs over to the right. Take a deep breath in and out. Pick your knees back up to center and drop over to the left. And again, take a deep breath in and out. Bring your knees back up to center, and you can let your knees rest on one another if that's comfortable. Let's tune into the neck and head now. As you tuck your chin, imagine extending up through the crown of your head. Like if you had a high ponytail, it would be as if somebody is pulling up through your high ponytail as you tuck your chin. And you can do that action and then kind of relax a little bit and then do it again. Tuck your chin and lengthen through your head. So this is a really kind of a small movement. And relax a bit and go again. Tuck your chin, reaching up through the crown of your head, simultaneously getting a really cute little extra chin down there at the bottom. Relax a little bit. And again, tuck your chin, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and relax. Let's take one stretch for the hips. So take your knees apart, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and if you feel a good stretch in your outer left hip, stay here. If you want more stretch, pick your right foot up, and you can do a hands-free stretch, or you can put your hands on your right knee. Breathing down and feeling if there's any change in the stretch sensation in your left hip from your inhale to your exhale. And let's relax and switch. Both feet on the ground. And then right ankle over the left thigh. Again, you can stay put here, or you can lift up to deepen the sensation. You can do hands free, or you can rest your hands on the top of your left knee. Noticing if there's any change in the stretch sensation from when you inhale to when you exhale. And let's relax. Both feet on the ground. Take a full breath in and out. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and roll over and sit up. I hope you feel great. I hope you feel well moved, energized, ready to go for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so proud of you for moving today. I'll see you next time.